He thought he buried it. He thought it needed him. But Venom was never loyal, only hungry. And this time, it didn't return to Peter. The new host knew no mercy. Stronger, faster, deadlier. Spider-Man chased it through the city he once protected and watched as everything he loved burned. Rain cracked down across Manhattan, not a storm, but a warning. Peter Parker stood on the edge of the Chrysler Building, the symbiote gone. Not dormant, not silent, gone. He'd woken up 3 nights ago in a cold sweat, heart pounding, suit torn halfway down his chest, and no black threads, no whispers, no familiar weight. It was like Venom had dissolved from his bloodstream while he slept. He didn't fight it, didn't chase it. At first, it felt like freedom. He could breathe. He could laugh. He could sleep. But tonight, that freedom turned heavy. He wasn't the only one feeling it. J. Jonah Jameson's voice rattled from a rooftop billboard screen across from him. "We've got a damn savage out there, folks. Ripping through gangs like wet paper. The cops can't catch it, the Avengers aren't talking, and you can bet Spider-Man's too busy taking selfies to help. I'm telling you, this thing is wrong." The camera cut to shaky footage from a gas station CCTV. Blurry, too fast to focus. A black streak smashing a van. Tentacle-like tendrils ripping the doors off like foil. Then a flash of red, not Spider-Man's suit, but blood. Peter narrowed his eyes. He already knew what it was. He had known since the second night. He leapt from the ledge, swing after swing. His mind kept circling the same impossible conclusion. The symbiote hadn't vanished. It had abandoned him for someone else. He hit the rooftop of a Hell's Kitchen warehouse hard. Below, the NYPD had cordoned off another scene. Chalk outlines, ruptured concrete, burned tire marks that shouldn't exist. Something was hunting, and it wasn't trying to hide. Peter moved fast, avoiding lights, slipping through shadows. But deep down, he felt slower, weaker, like something still clung to his bones. A memory of power, a ghost of something alive. Inside the warehouse, the walls were ripped open, not cut, torn. The remains of a weapons deal lay scattered. Guns melted, crates cracked, blood smeared like ink trails leading deeper into the building. Peter crouched and examined the floor. The footprint was massive, too big for a human, but not alien, adapted. A vibration hit the back of his skull. Not spider sense, something different. A signal, almost like. He turned. Behind him, a figure stood silhouetted in the shattered doorway. 8 feet tall, dripping black, eyes glowing. Peter moved slowly. Venom. The figure didn't speak, but something inside it laughed. Peter fired a web, instinct, but the web never hit. It was swallowed mid-air, dissolved. Then the creature leapt. It wasn't Brock. It wasn't the version Peter had fought, forgiven, and buried. It was something else entirely. Faster, more precise, more ruthless. They crashed through 2 walls before Peter could react, the thing pinning him mid-air. Its face opened, teeth shifting like machinery, and it spoke with 2 voices. "You weren't enough." Peter kicked free, flipping backward, panting. "Who are you?" But the creature didn't answer. It didn't monologue. It didn't gloat. It attacked. 3 tendrils shot from his chest. Peter dodged 2, the third grazing his shoulder. Not just impact, poison. His veins lit up like fire. He web-zipped to the ceiling beam, trying to recalibrate. He needed data, weaknesses, a sound pulse, a heat bomb, something. But before he could even breathe, the creature was above him, crouched on the beam, face to face, upside down. "You left me," it whispered. Peter's heart sank. That voice. It wasn't Eddie Brock. It was Harry Osborn. But Harry had been comatose for 6 months. After the lab explosion, after the serum experiment went wrong, Oscorp had buried him under high-security lock. Peter had visited, talked to him, cried. And now, Harry, Peter's voice cracked. The creature flinched, just for a second, like the name pierced through. Then Venom screamed. A violent, guttural roar that shattered every light in the building. Glass exploded. Power flickered. Outside, car alarms shrieked in unison. Peter hit the ground and rolled. grabbing a steel pipe and launching it toward the creature. It batted away like a twig. "You left me in the dark," it hissed, stalking toward him. But he didn't. He showed me truth. "You were just noise. Weak. Afraid." Peter's hands trembled. "Harry, I tried to help you. You watched me die." The voice twisted. "And now I'm alive. Because he made me better." A tendril lashed out. Peter barely dodged, flipping onto a metal catwalk. "Harry, fight it. You don't have to do this." "I'm not fighting it," he grinned. "I am it." Venom jumped again, faster than Peter had ever seen it move, and sent him crashing through the upper floor. With splinters, dust, silence. Peter groaned, ribs aching. But the creature was gone. Only a smear of black remained. A smear that pulsed, alive, before slithering away. Peter pulled himself up, gasping, eyes wide, blood on his lips. He stared at the empty street outside the shattered wall. He knew what this was now. Venom hadn't escaped. It had evolved. And it had chosen. The silence in Peter's apartment wasn't peaceful. It was empty, hollow. His mask lay on the floor, torn, black stains along the shoulder, residue that wouldn't come off, no matter how many times he scrubbed. He stared into the mirror, and the face staring back looked like someone who'd already lost. Harry Osborn. It didn't make sense. Couldn't. Oscorp had declared him brain dead. Norman Osborn had left the country in grief. The vault containing Harry's body was supposed to be locked, guarded, surrounded by tech Peter himself had helped design. And yet Harry was alive, bonded, weaponized. Venom hadn't revived him. It had resurrected him. Peter's phone buzzed. A message from MJ. "Did you see the news?" Attached, a live-streamed video. Peter clicked. A fire in Midtown. Civilians screaming. A gang leader suspended by black tendrils over a rooftop, begging for mercy. Then, a flash of teeth. The camera dropped. Screams cut off. Feed dead. The location pinged less than a mile away. Peter grabbed his mask. He didn't have time to heal. Didn't have time to think. He had to stop him before Venom pushed Harry past the point of return. He arrived on the scene too late. The rooftop was soaked in blood. Not just one gang, 3. Rival crews, all dead. Some torn apart. Others melted into the floor like they'd fused with the surface. One of them was still breathing. Barely. Peter dropped beside him. "Who did this?" The man looked up, pupils wide, lips shaking. He knew my name. He said my worst memory out loud. He whispered it. "What was it?" Peter asked. The man sobbed. "My mother dying. I never told anyone." He said it right in my ear. Peter's blood ran cold. It wasn't just Harry in there. Venom was unlocking everything Harry ever saw. Every memory. And every mind it touched was being rewritten with pain. He called Dr. Kirk Connors. The Lizard. The only scientist Peter still trusted with dangerous mutations. "Peter," Connors answered groggy. "Why are you calling at 3 a.m.? Venom found a new host. Connors went silent. "Who?" he finally asked. Peter swallowed. "Harry." "Peter, that's not possible. I saw him. He spoke. He knew everything." Connors clicked something in the background. If the symbiote linked with a comatose or dead body and restored function, we're not talking about a parasite. We're talking about full nervous system reconstruction. "It's worse," Peter said. "He's not hiding. He's targeting specific people." "Targets from whose memories?" Peter didn't answer. Connors inhaled sharply. "Yours." It hit like a punch to the chest. Of course. Peter and Harry had grown up together, shared every part of their past, their grief, their trauma, and the symbiote had once been inside Peter for months. It didn't just remember his body, it remembered his soul. Venom had learned from Peter, copied his instincts, his pain, his enemies. Now it had Harry, and both memories had fused into something crueler. Peter hung up. He needed to find Eddie Brock, the original host, someone who could talk to it. He found Eddie hours later in an old apartment in Jersey, living off-grid, unshaven, quiet, cold. Eddie didn't open the door. He ripped it open. "You brought it back," he growled. Peter raised his hands. It wasn't me. Wasn't you. Eddie stepped forward, jaw tight. I told you not to bury it. I told you we couldn't just pretend it was over. But you, in all your genius, thought peace meant power off. It left me. Eddie's eyes narrowed. Peter added, it went to someone else. Someone who died. Eddie paused, and it brought him back. Peter nodded. Then it doesn't want survival, Eddie said. It wants legacy. That means this is just the beginning. Peter leaned forward. I need your help. Eddie looked away. I'm done. If it chose someone else, then it made its decision. He's my friend. No, Eddie snapped. He's gone. If the symbiote resurrected him, it did it for a reason. You don't come back without a price. Peter left the apartment with nothing but a warning. Next time you see it, Eddie said from behind the door, don't talk. Don't beg. End it. Or it'll end you. Peter didn't sleep that night. Instead, he searched Oscorp's security logs. Broke through 3 firewalls. What he found chilled him more than anything else. Someone had accessed the cryo chamber containing Harry's body 4 days ago. The night the symbiote disappeared from Peter's body. And the credentials used? Norman Osborn. Peter's breath stopped. He ran facial scans on the chamber footage. It wasn't Norman. It was Harry himself, walking, breathing, smiling, and behind him a trail of liquid black, pulsing like veins. Peter rewound it over and over. Harry had opened the vault from the inside. The next morning, Peter got the call he was dreading. From MJ. Her voice was shaking. Peter, he came here. Peter froze. Who? Harry. What did he say? That he forgave me. That he wanted to see you. Did he hurt you? No. But Peter. Her voice dropped to a whisper. There was something in his eyes. Something watching from underneath. Peter was already on the move. He didn't hear the rest. He didn't need to. Harry hadn't come to talk. He'd come to warn. And the next name on the symbiote's memory list was Aunt May. The wind cut across Queens like a blade cold and wrong. Peter raced across rooftops, lungs burning, heart thudding in dread. Aunt May's house wasn't far, but he knew Venom wasn't after her. He was after him. Every memory Peter had, every love, every failure, every secret, was inside that suit. It had copied his biology once. Now it was copying his mind. He landed outside May's front door, ripped it open. May. She turned from the kitchen, startled but calm. Peter. His eyes scanned everything. No black tendrils. No broken glass. No scent of burning. Just a half-cooked pie, and her usual tired smile. I'm fine, sweetheart. What's going on? Peter didn't answer. He moved fast, locking windows, checking corners, staring through every shadow. Nothing. Yet something lingered. That itch in the back of his skull hadn't stopped since the warehouse. Venom wasn't here, physically. But he'd been here. A framed photo of Peter and Harry lay on the couch. No dust on it. Someone had picked it up recently. May followed his eyes. Harry came by, she said. Last night. Peter froze. What? He looked good. Healthy. I didn't recognize him at first. I thought it was one of your hero friends. He was glowing. Almost. I asked him to stay for dinner, but he said he only came to remember. Remember what? Where he lost you. Peter's throat tightened. He scanned again, and then he saw it, barely there, on the dining table underneath the coaster. A black smear. Thin, shiny, alive. Peter touched it and flinched. The smear twitched, then evaporated into smoke. He's tracking me, Peter whispered. Not to kill me, to rebuild me. He told May to stay with MJ. Not safe here anymore. No place was. As Peter left, he tried calling the one person who might understand what was happening. Dr. Strange. The sanctum opened before Peter even reached the door. Strange was already waiting. I felt it, he said. It's no longer just a symbiote. What do you mean? Strange gestured toward the mirror dimension. Come. They stepped through a portal. The world shifted into impossible geometry. Floating stairs, sideways buildings, time hanging like dust. Strange floated in meditation, arms crossed. I've studied symbiotes, he said. Their hunger, their hive instincts. But this one, it's evolving. It's not just surviving. It's mimicking. Mimicking what? You. Peter's breath caught. Your morality, your trauma, your intelligence, but twisted. A perfect predator wearing your past like armor. Strange turned, his face dark. It's accessing more than Earth now. Peter blinked. What? The symbiote psychic field is expanding. It's opening rifts, not just in space, but in reality. It's breaking the rules that hold this dimension together. If left unchecked, it'll rewrite memory as easily as it rewrites flesh. Peter felt the floor tilt under his feet. He's building something. No, Strange corrected. He's becoming something. Peter looked down at his hands. I felt weaker since it left. Strange nodded. It didn't just bond with you. It archived you. Every thought, every strategy, every weakness. That includes your allies. Peter stood in silence, realization crashing in. Miles. He hadn't heard from him in 2 days. Peter raced out of the portal before Strange could stop him. Brooklyn wasn't burning, but it wasn't breathing either. No movement, no sirens, no light. Peter hit Miles's building, ran up the fire escape, kicked the window in. Empty room. No struggle. No signs of forced entry. Only one thing. On the wall, scrawled in black. You taught him well. Peter gripped the windowsill. Venom had taken Miles, either as bait or as a blueprint. Peter called again. No answer. Then his phone buzzed, not for Miles. A video message. He played it. The screen flickered to life, showing Miles suspended mid-air, tangled in black webs, eyes open but glowing faintly. Venom's voice echoed through the speaker. He's better than you, but not finished. Peter nearly crushed the phone in his hand. He knew where the video was shot. An old Oscorp test site, shut down after Norman fled. It was a message, a trap, and a challenge all in one. He went anyway. The building was already breathing. Tendrils wrapped around steel beams. Walls pulsed. Lights flickered red in rhythm, like a heartbeat. Peter stepped inside, and it welcomed him. Doors opened before he touched them. Hallways lit up ahead of him. The symbiote remembered his gait, his height, his pulse. This place had become an extension of the suit. Of Harry. At the center, Miles. Still alive. Covered in black armor. His mask was off. His eyes were vacant. Venom sat on a throne of moving matter behind him, shifting between human and beast. Half Harry, half shadow. You came, it whispered. Peter stepped forward. Let him go. I'm helping him, it said calmly. Like I helped you. Like I helped me. Peter didn't blink. You're hurting him. No. I'm finishing what you couldn't. I'm making a Spider-Man that won't fail. That doesn't break. That doesn't let friends die. Peter's hands clenched. You're not helping anyone, he said. You're rewriting them into monsters. Venom smiled with Harry's mouth. You say monster. I say survivor. Peter moved. Fast. He webbed Miles out of the trap, slammed a heat charge at the throne, and tackled Harry through the wall. They crashed through 3 floors before hitting the ground. This time, Peter didn't hold back. He hit with rage, with fire, with sound. Venom screamed. But Harry didn't beg, didn't plead. He laughed. You can't delete me, he hissed. I'm written into your story now. Peter struck again, harder. Blood sprayed. But Venom just smiled wider. Peter stopped, because the thing in front of him wasn't dying. It was healing. And behind him, Miles was standing, not himself, moving like the symbiote. Peter turned. 2 hosts, 1 suit, and Spider-Man in the center of it all, suddenly very alone. Peter backed away slowly. His knees buckled not from pain, but from knowing what came next. Miles wasn't himself. He moved like Peter, looked like him. But when he turned, Peter saw it in his eyes. Venom was inside him too. 2 hosts, 1 hive, and both were synced. They moved together, no hesitation, no missteps. Harry lunging high, Miles cutting low. Peter barely dodged. A tendril grazed his cheek and split skin like paper. Blood hit the ground. It sizzled. He webbed to the ceiling, fired sonic pulses from his wrist modules. Nothing. The symbiote didn't flinch. It absorbed the sound. They'd adapted. Venom had learned. They crashed into him at the same time. Peter braced for pain, but something stopped them. A red flash exploded in the distance. Fire. Controlled. Someone had fired a warning shot. The wall behind them blew open, and out stepped someone Peter hadn't seen in years. Eddie Brock. Armed. Focused. Different. He didn't say a word. He unleashed a thermal sonic burst from his shoulder cannon. Prototype tech he'd stolen from a Stark junk vault. It knocked Miles back, made Harry howl. Pieces of the symbiote scattered like glass. Peter crawled up, coughing. You came. Wasn't for you, Eddie said. Was for him. He pointed at Miles. Kid doesn't deserve to rot under this thing. They fought side by side. Peter distracted Harry, flanking left. Eddie closed on Miles, using just enough sound to stun, not kill. The lab shook. Venom screamed through both voices, calling to them like a hive mother. More tendrils erupted from the walls, wrapping around steel, concrete, the air itself. Peter slammed Harry into a stasis chamber. For a moment, Harry's face broke through. Peter, help me. But then the black flooded back, and the voice twisted again. You already did this to me. Peter hesitated, then launched a charge point blank. The stasis pod sealed. One down. He turned. Eddie had collapsed. Miles stood over him, struggling, convulsing. The suit inside him was splitting, trying to stay alive, while Eddie's sonic weapons hummed at his feet. Peter fired a web, hit the emitter, and overloaded it. The blast knocked everyone down. The room filled with smoke. When it cleared, Miles was breathing, unconscious, but free. Peter stared at him, no black left. Just his friend, just a kid. Eddie groaned. We're not done. Peter nodded. There's more. Because the walls weren't just moving now, they were forming shapes. Faces. Bodies. Hundreds of them. Venom wasn't alone anymore. It had started replicating itself. Infected lab animals. Broken drones. Half-alive corpses. Peter grabbed Eddie and Miles. We're leaving. Now. They barely escaped before the building collapsed in on itself, consumed by the hive. From the distance, the skyline shifted. Oscorp Tower flickered, lights pulsing in black patterns. Peter knew. Venom had built a network. He wasn't just creating hosts. He was preparing to replace humanity. And Spider-Man? He had one final fight left. The city had turned quiet. Not peaceful. Just waiting. Peter stood on the tallest building, still untouched by Venom's spread. Oscorp Tower now pulsed like a living creature, covered in black, breathing. The entire structure was wrapped in the symbiote hive, moving, growing, humming with energy that didn't belong to Earth. Inside it, Harry waited. So did the army. And Peter had nothing left to throw at it. No weapons. No Stark backup. No Avengers. Eddie was missing. Miles was recovering. MJ was off-grid. It was just him. And the thing that knew him better than he knew himself. He leapt. The wind tore past as he shot through the air toward the tower. Tendrils reached for him from every angle, but he burned through with firebomb webbing, swinging through gaps in the black shell like a needle through flesh. Then he crashed into the central spire. It was like stepping into a beating heart. The walls pulsed with light, not red, not black, but a sickly, glowing blue. The symbiote had evolved again. It had connected to something cosmic. Harry stood in the center, not fully human anymore. His body was tall, lean, reshaped. No longer just wearing the symbiote. He was the symbiote now. Half his face still looked like Harry. The other half looked like something the universe was trying to forget. Peter landed hard. I didn't come to fight, he said. Harry blinked, surprised. You came to lose? No. I came to talk to you, nodded. Harry laughed, but it wasn't his voice. Not fully. You think I'm still in here? I know you are, Peter said. Because if you weren't, I'd be dead already. The room trembled. All around them, copies of Venom began forming, mirror hosts stepping out of walls. Faces Peter recognized. Cops, teachers, neighbors, even Aunt May. Not real, just memory. rewritten into monsters. Peter closed his eyes. I failed you, Harry. I didn't visit enough. I didn't fight for you. I tried to move on. You forgot me, the voice growled. No, Peter whispered. I missed you. For a second, a single second, the tendrils paused. Harry's real face flickered through the corruption. Peter stepped forward, slow and steady. I don't want to kill you. I won't. You can't. Maybe. But you came back for a reason. Not just to punish me. You wanted to be seen. I wanted to be remembered, Harry said softly. Peter raised his hand. You always were. And then he dropped his mask. No tricks. No gadgets. No webs. Just Peter. The one thing the symbiote couldn't imitate. The real thing. Harry's hands trembled. The tower screamed. The copies began to collapse, melting into puddles. The hive mind was fracturing. Peter kept walking, even as the walls fell around them. Let go, he said. You're not alone. The blue glow in Harry's chest cracked, then shattered. Venom screeched one last time, and the entire upper level of Oscorp imploded. When it was over, there was silence, dust, smoke, and one body. Peter pulled Harry from the rubble, barely breathing, barely alive. But he was free. The symbiote was gone, not dead, but contained, back inside a sealed pod, deep underground, locked with every code Peter knew how to create. Harry never woke up again, but this time, Peter never stopped visiting. Because memory, real memory, doesn't need to be rewritten. It just needs to be held.